This is Sports Talk with PlayerAgent3. My next guest is a staple in the Raleigh, North Carolina basketball community. When you think of Garner Rd Basketball, there's only one name that comes to mind, Mr. Dwanye West. How you doing?
Wow. I'm good. Wow, that's one name?
Hey,
I was gonna say we got a lot of names, but I'll take that.
Hey, thank you for coming on the show, Dwayne. How have things been going with you and your family since this whole pandemic has come about?
Well, you know, it's been for us. I mean, it's been tough. Like it's tough, like for everybody. It's just a different way of life. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I have a mom and a dad that is 82, 83, and 76 now. So, you know, and my sister and I are the primary helpers with them on a day-to-day basis. I mean, they still get around and everything, but we help them with, you know, the house and all the other stuff, right? So we got to make sure we're straight. But it's been tough, man. You know, the basketball world has been really tough. I mean, you have people that in uncharted waters now because they're banking on, you know, being able to get scholarships and go off to school, and coaches weren't able to be out for almost 2 years.
Right.
So it's been tough, but you know, you got to make do with what you have, man. You gotta fight through, and you just got to be, whatever situation it is, you got to understand the issues and the problems within it, and then you got to find a way over and through those things and make it happen for the kids, period.
Okay. So Teaneck, New Jersey. All right. I don't know if a lot of people know. Wow. That's where you got your start, home of the Isley brothers, by the way.
Yes, sir. Right around the corner. So let me tell you a quick funny story, right? Let me tell you, this is how used we were to not, because, you know, we not only had the Isley brothers, but we had Sylvia Robinson, who was the owner and president of Sugar Hill Records. Yeah, Master G literally lived around the corner from me on Fairfield Avenue, and I lived on Intervale. And Master G had this little white 2+2, 250 Datsun 2+2. You remember those back? Well, I don't know how old you are, but yeah. But anyway, so we were out in the huh?
I remember the Datsuns, but I don't know if I remember the 2+2s or whatever you just.
Well, they're the 280ZXs now.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
So that was really fly. It was a really fly ride he showed up with. But we're out in the street, and we're playing 4-on-4 football, tag football in the street. And here come the Isley brothers. They like, these jokers is sitting on their Rolls Royce, like they in a parade, riding around, waving at people. Mm-hmm. And we like, yo, move, we having a football game like that. We had the Isley brothers roll down our street, and we're telling them, move out of the way, yo, it's third down, yo, I gotta get this first down. It was so funny. When I look back on that, it was so hilarious. They're like, hey kids, how you doing? We was like, yo, man, move, man, we playing football. Yup, Teaneck, New Jersey.
When you think about Teaneck, New Jersey, neighbors to New York City, is that where basketball started for you?
Honestly, no. Actually, basketball started for me back when I was in the fourth grade. I was at PS 100, and I made my first basketball team. We were living in the Bronx on Third Avenue, over on Bruckner Boulevard, and over that way, Castle Hill. Mm-hmm. And I made the fourth through sixth grade team. That's the first time basketball was introduced. You know, back then we had the asphalt and the blacktop and half courts. We didn't play full courts back then because they only had the courts, the 10 backboard courts with the holes in them. Mm-hmm. That was up against the fence. So that's all we played every day. So that's when I first got my start to basketball. And then I would go to 143rd. I would go to Baby Rucker, which was on 123rd at Mount Morris Park. Mm-hmm. Played there. And 143rd was High School Rucker. 145th and Lenox. So that's where I really got it started.
What was it like growing up in the tri-state area and just soaking in? Because I mean, it's a lot. Of course, it's a lot of history there, basketball-wise. But what was that whole experience like for you?
Man, you know, it's funny how basketball makes the world small. And when I was a kid, growing up, there were names that were thrown here and about. There were names that you played against. And literally, as I go through this life, now I'm 57 years old, and names that were in Harlem, and names that were in the Bronx, and names that was in Paterson, New Jersey, and Newark, New Jersey, and Jersey City, New Jersey, all those names come back again in some form or fashion, whether it's the players themselves or the people that were coaching. It is never like Al Eford is a dude, 66 years old today, and he was an old school guy. When I played college, I played in the pro league over in East Orange, and he was like one of those dudes that could hoop, one of the older fellas in the league that could hoop. And now he's 66 years old today. And when I looked at his Facebook and saw all the people that were saying happy birthday, Big Al and all that, it's like they're from all over the place. So it's just crazy like that.
Yeah. Being the big brother of former NBA champion David West, what was it like? Did you kind of bully him growing up in terms of playing basketball, or the age gap is a little too far for you to have taken him under your wing?
No, not at all. I didn't bully my brother at all. I mean, that's my brother. I know you have that big brother, little brother thing where you beat up on him. Yeah, I did that. You know what I'm saying? I did that. I didn't do it for long though, because by the time he was 14, he was able to beat me, and I was like, yo, I'm not playing you anymore. I played him. I beat him. It was hard. Then he beat me. Then I played him again and beat him that third game, and then I never played him again. So I haven't played David since he was 14 years old. So I'm the king of the family when it comes to basketball, because I won last. Doesn't matter he was 14. I won last. That's all that matters. But no, what I did when is I really, him and my baby brother, I used to take them out to the park, and we had a numbering system that we used to do. One was a drop step, two was a spin move, finish, half hook at the rim. So we had like numbers. So I really just tried to help them, become basketball players by showing them the fundamental things that I learned from those old school cats, and I was putting it into them. And that's how our relationship was. And then at some point when he got so good, his talent was above my reference point, and I had to let him go. You know what I'm saying? So, but I was there to kind of help him in the very beginning. And he's actually said that in some of his interviews. Like, he remembers going to the park with his brother and just learning the fundamentals of basketball. He had a rain ball. So when it rained, he had a ball he would use for the rain. He had a regular ball. He had a shovel. So he'd go up to Teaneck, up to Tryon Park, and shovel off the court and work out with the snow. So yeah, man, it was more of a development, a love of basketball kind of deal. Like, but we do have our battles now. We like our mother. We don't like to lose. So we fight.
Right. Talk about your journey as a player through high school, college. I don't know if you played on the professional level, but talk about your journey in terms of playing basketball on the high school level as well as the college level.
Well, I played for Teaneck High School, and Teaneck High School is a perennial powerhouse in basketball in New Jersey. One of our greatest players is Tony Campbell. I don't know if you remember Tony Campbell. Tony Campbell, huh?
Is that the same with the Lakers?
Played with the Lakers, yes. But he really became big when he went to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yeah, exactly. He was one of the league's leading scorers and all that. Mm-hmm. So we have a plethora of players that have come through, and even to today they have state championships and so on and so forth. I was back when I was in high school, it was 10th through 12th grade. There was no 9th grade. That was junior high school for me. So 10th through 12th. So in 10th grade, I played behind Tony Campbell, which meant I didn't play a lot. But in 11th grade, I became captain of the varsity team. And in 11th and 12th grade, and I was the primary guy. I ended up going to Jersey City State College, which is a Division III school in the NJAC, New Jersey Athletic Conference, and which is now New Jersey City University. And I went there, had 4 years, had a great career, would do it all over again. Had a couple of scholarship opportunities, but in my mindset was, I'm going somewhere where I could play. And they told me that I could come in from the door and play, because back in those days, people look at me now, but man, I was 6'4", 178 pounds, soaking wet, rocks in my pocket, bricks on my shoes. Like, I was just skinny. And I played at New Jersey City University, was a 1,000-point scorer, 600 rebounds, did all that stuff, went into the Hall of Fame in, I don't know, 2003, 2007, something like that. And then just 2 years ago before COVID, they put the whole team in because we were one of the all-time winningest school teams in the history of the college and all that. So I had a great career, and, I deal with kids and parents every day that make these decisions about where to go and play, and they're so stuck on the name and the conference and all that. And I'll tell you, man, I could have gone to Springfield College, which is a Division II school up in Massachusetts. I had a couple of Ivy League schools. I even had I guess they would be Big East school back then. But I chose a Division III school because I knew I was going to go play, and that's what I wanted to do, is play. And if kids these days and parents these days will make their decisions based off of the reality of their talent and their situation, we wouldn't have that transfer portal wouldn't be like it is.
Exactly. So you guys moved to NC, moved to North Carolina. Talk about that transition and how did the whole Garner Rd thing come about once you guys moved here?
Well, my mother and father moved here first because I was a grown man. See, I'm 57 and David is 41 now. So there's a 16-year difference. So they moved here to be in. My dad's people are from New Bern, North Carolina, and my mother's people are from Orangeburg. So Garner was halfway between the two. So they moved down here. I spent 22 years in corporate America as a sales, marketing, national account manager, and all that. So I was blessed by happenstance to move down here and call on Food Lion headquarters. That was my job with Lipton Foods at the time. And it was a great transition for us. The North had run its course, with the hustle and the bustle and all of that. Got down here and figured out that this country life is not that bad. We always say country slow folk. But then when you get down here, it's the quality of life, the people, everything is just different and it's better for you. And that was great for us. For David, Garner saved David's basketball career. When David had a very bad experience in Teaneck, New Jersey, with Teaneck High School, and he had actually made up in his mind that when he moved to Garner to North Carolina, he wasn't going to play basketball at all. Yeah, he wasn't going to play. He had such a bad experience with the coach and the head coach at that time that he wasn't going to play. And what happened is when he got down here, Coach Gray at Garner High School found out that there was a 6'7" kid walking around the school on the first day of school. He hunted David down and asked him to come to the open gym. David said okay and went home after school. Then he said I'm not going to play. So the second day he came. This is a true story. Second day of school, Coach Gray hunts him down in the hallway and says, "Hey man, I know you forgot I don't know if you forgot or had something to do. We got an open gym today. I need you to come." You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna just play and get you play basketball. And Dave was like, yeah, this Dave told me this, right? So Dave went home. So on the third day, Dave shows up to homeroom. Who's sitting in his chair? Coach Gray. Literally sitting in his chair at homeroom. And Dave comes up to him and he says, "Son, the last 2 times I asked you, today I'm telling you, have your tail in that gym after school." And the rest is history, man. The rest is that is a true story. He was not gonna play. So, it goes back to, the impact that we have as people on kids can destroy dreams. It can destroy their minds. It can destroy their spirit. So that's why you have to be very careful, and you have to treat kids' dreams and what it is they want to do about this basketball thing. You have to treat it with kid gloves, because you can destroy them literally. And I'm thankful that Coach Gray was insistent, because there was nothing that I could say to David at that time to get him to play and all that. But that's I think I'm happy we moved down to North Carolina. because he wasn't going to play in Teaneck. He was going to quit basketball. So, by happenstance. So I don't know if you knew that story or anything like that, but yeah, man, he was going to quit basketball. He was done with basketball, done.
Well, talk about the genesis of the Garner Rd program.
Well, when I came in, I got here in 97. My parents moved here with David and my sister and other brother. They moved here in 96 and they started. I got here in 97. I was working in corporate. So that first year, I didn't do a whole lot. In 98, I was playing out in the park and I met a guy who said, "Hey, man, you hoop?" I was like, "Yeah, man, but I'm a coach and I'm gonna try to, get with some kids." And he told me, "Well, go see Garner Rd, man. They have some teams over there." So I went over and gave my name and number and said that I wanted to be a volunteer. And I got a call one day from one of the coaches and they told me to come down, and I met Hank Maddox. I don't know if you know the name Hank Maddox, but Hank Maddox is the originator and founder of Garner Rd Basketball back in 1990. And we started a relationship. My first time I was an assistant coach that first year. And then I immediately became a head coach that next year and had a team and kind of went on there. And then Hank got married in 2000 and he gave me the club then. And then I ran it for 19 years.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. When you think about guys such as John Wall, your brother David, PJ Tucker, Devontae Graham, all those guys who have come through that program, how does that make you feel in terms of the type of guys that you guys have put out year in and year out, especially on the NBA level?
I mean, obviously, I'm pretty proud of our work. I'm happy about our resume, man. But the thing about it, one of the things that Hank really instilled in me, and I think my parents, my parents are ordained elders, and they've been longtime ordained elders. I actually grew up in the church and all that good stuff, and so spirituality was a very important aspect for me, and that was the common bond and connection that I had with Hank. Is the importance of the spirituality piece with these kids. And that's what we try to do, man. It's like, I'm happy about John Wall, Devontae Graham, TJ Warren, Jerome Robinson, Dayron Sharp, or Moses Wright, all of them. I'm really happy about them. I really am. But man, some of my proudest, the things that really you're sitting there and then that big smile come on your face, you know what I'm saying? Is thinking about that kid that, ended up, no one wanted him to play for them. We brought him in as a 5th grader, 6th grader. He got cut everywhere else. And then he goes off, plays D1, and now he's a civil engineer, with here in North Carolina. Or, Lavelle Moulton coached for us. That was his first coaching job. I don't know if you knew that.
Didn't know that.
Lavelle Moulton's first coaching job was with Garner Rd Basketball Club. And we've had so many different people come through Garner Rd and be touched by Garner Rd, and then went off and did the things that they did. And honestly, I could say, based on the spirituality, based on the mindset and the consciousness of the people around you, that's one of the things as part of our culture that we use even to this day, is making sure that you touch people not just in a basketball way, but in other ways so that they could be productive human beings, man. They could be good human beings.
Right. I think one of the impressive things that, that I've read about the program is that you guys have sent hundreds of kids to college, which I am sure that you guys have saved many lives, not just playing basketball, but off the court as well. Can you speak to that in terms of the number of opportunities in terms of scholarships that you guys have been a part of?
Oh, so as I said, we were established in 1990, and so this is at 31 years, and we have documented well over 300 Division I, Division II scholarship athletes.
Wow.
In our 30 years. We average, our average is 11.2 or something like that. Division I, Division II scholarships per year. So, I'm really proud about that. But again, man, I'm proud that kids play basketball. We're able to talk in their ear about being good people. We're able to give them a work ethic. We're able to give them an understanding of their priorities and what it is that they need to do to be successful. And then those guys go off and play Division I, Division II, Division III, or NAIA. I don't care, man. I just want you to continue on in your dream and in growing up and becoming a productive person. And that's the thing. But yeah, we have over 300. It's going to be some big news coming up soon. I ain't going to say nothing. Maybe I'll come back on and we can talk about that, because it's definitely going to be a very interesting topic, because if this thing happens, there's going to be a major discussion. Maybe we can get back together and talk about that with grassroots basketball is all I'll say. But, but yeah, we're really proud every day. I still talk to kids that, Garius Adams, who's now with the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
We talk we talk all throughout the year, but we talk every year. I make it a point of calling him and talking to him about his career review. Like, where are you today? Where were you yesterday? Where are you going? What is it that you're not doing that's not allowing you to get what you want and where you want to go? We have those types of conversations with a lot of our guys that are in basketball and out of basketball, which I think kind of makes us really different from a lot of other grassroots programs, because a lot of these dudes, they want to come in, they want to shine for that moment, and then they get the new shiny quarter, nickel, and then they play with them, whereas we have relationships. We have bona fide relationships. Julian Gamble, I don't know if you remember Julian Gamble.
Yes, I do.
But Julian Gamble is an awesome young man that has been playing overseas. He found his niche. He found a wife. The Bible says when you find a wife, you find a good thing. He found a good thing. He's got, I think, 3 kids, and I talked to him, via text and Facebook, and he's in Italy and all these other places. And I always make sure that I let him know, man, you're a great husband, you're a great father, you're a great man, you're a great basketball player, let's keep it going. And those are the types of relationships and things that we do that I think makes us different and special. I can't speak on what the other dudes do, I just know what we do. And we've always operated. We could care less about what other people do. We know what we do, and we know that if you're in our circle and we in your circle, we together.
Speaking of grassroots basketball, 2018, you were inducted into the AAU Hall of Fame. Now, I did not know that the AAU had a Hall of Fame, but
right.
Talk about that and the work that you put in. Talk about receiving that honor.
Oh man, that's an honor that truly touched my heart, and I don't care as a human being. I don't care who you are as a human being. Every now and then you want to hear the word thank you. You want to hear some type of acknowledgement of, man, I put in all this time, I put in all this work and all this energy and all this money, and you just want to hear thank you or something around that, right? So I was really happy with that. AAU not only blessed me, but it also helped me to go through the stages of life of being a player, to being a coach, to being a mentor type deal. And, I was really honored when they gave it to us, man. I spent hours and days and weeks and months working with AAU, doing tournaments and getting kids ready, cleaning up. Like, people don't know that Byron, who's our vice president who passed away a couple of years ago, we used to be in the gym on a Sunday night at Monday morning at 1 a.m. in the morning, cleaning up the gyms because we didn't have a crew that we could pay, right? So we were in there cleaning up the gyms, making sure that every gym that we used, we gave it back to them the way we got it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We put in a lot of blood, There's a lot of sweat equity in that thing, man. So I'm honored with it, but I feel, honestly, I work for that. Like, I work for it hard. The arguments with the parents, the referees not showing up, the teams forfeiting, like all that crazy stuff, having 14 locations and all. I worked hard for that, man. I appreciate them, but we work hard for that. Yep.
Now I want to ask you this before I put you on the spot. How has the landscape of AAU basketball changed over the years? Because now it seems as though basketball has become a business all the way down to third graders, fourth graders, and on up. How has this whole landscape changed in your mind? And do you think it's going in the right direction?
Oh, man. Well, I would tell you this. The mentality and mindsets of most people have not, the ways that people are as human beings has not changed, right? If you want to go back to those cleaner days, if you want those quote unquote cleaner days, AAU days, man, there were still dudes out there that was doing it for the money. There were still dudes out there that was doing it for the prestige. And there were still dudes that was doing it out there because they really and truly love the kids. And that happens today. It's just augmented and it's just greater because of social media. Mm-hmm. And then people make the vital mistake of really showing themselves on social media where it's able to be shared and people are able to remark to your ignorance or your whatever it is that you do. They're able to remark that and comment on it, and that makes it worse. But I don't think that it's any different from that perspective. I do know that it's different from a process perspective because AAU itself was like the primary vehicle. Now it's the sneaker circuits, yeah. And it's the phenoms and the hoop groups of the world and all that, and the hoop scenes that you got to go through to get to. It's just a different route, but everything is money driven. Yeah. Everything is money driven. For me to sit up here and tell you now here's one thing that people don't know. I've never been paid to run AAU basketball or to run Garner Rd basketball. I've never received a dime, ever, right? Now, will I tell you that we ran events so that we could raise money for the kids to go play? Yes. Mm-hmm. To feed them? Yes. To give them SAT courses? Yes. To give them etiquette courses? Yes. You know what I'm saying? We did all those things. But, you have some people out there that's their living, which is cool as long as whatever platform you bring to people, that it's worth something and that it's going to highlight the kids. So, it's a business, man. It's a business. It is.
I got a couple more. I want to put you on the spot before I let you get out of here, man. It's so much stuff. Okay. So much stuff that we can talk about. I definitely want to have you back on the show.
Yeah.
The best player that you've coached.
The best player that I've coached?
Yes.
Oh, that's an easy. Okay, so the best player that I've coached in Garner Rd basketball?
Yes.
Not above and beyond. Okay, Garner the best player that Huh?
Yeah, Garner Rd basketball.
Oh, TJ Warren.
TJ Warren.
Oh, by far.
By far.
Oh, yeah. Listen, let me tell you something. When he was growing up, we called him Flip. That was his nickname, right? And then he went on to be in Tony Buckets. Flip, we called him Flip because at the age of 11, 12, 13 years old, this dude was spinning, back spinning, forward spinning, side spinning off the backboards and all that other stuff just to get the ball in the hoop, right? Mm-hmm. No matter who we played, there was never an answer for TJ. The only person that could guard TJ was TJ.
Okay.
If TJ was on his game, he had like 58 on the can't remember if they were the Russian national team or something like that. Like he totally destroyed them. Like when he's on it, can't nobody. That was our 2012 team. We had TJ Warren, Terry Henderson, my son Trevor West. We had Aaron Tate, We had Denzel Ingram. We had Quan, Shaquille Moore, and all of them. Great team, right? Then you look at the 2013, Isaiah Hicks, Carolina, Tyrone Outlaw, Virginia Tech, Devontae Graham, Anton Gill, Isaac Copeland, Marcus Bryant. They had a team that was stacked, right? Mm-hmm. They would play us and try to beat us. Guess what? There was no answer for TJ Warren. There's no answer. That's anybody that wants to argue with me. You're going to be arguing with me because I'm not going to change my mind. TJ Warren was the best AAU high school basketball player that I've ever coached.
Okay, so that pretty much answers my next question of the best player to come through Garner Road, because that could be a different answer.
That is a different answer.
Right? Okay, let's hear it.
The best one, can I have a 1A and a 1B?
Hey,
give me a 1A and a 1B, right? Because I'm gonna, because one came through Garner Road, mm-hmm. and one was at Garner Road for a couple of years, right?
Okay.
The one that came through Garner Road started when he was 9 years old and played all the way up until he was 16 and was supposed to play with us at 17, but had some hoodwinks and he was going playing every weekend with someone else, so it was cool. Never want to hold him back. It was John Wall. Okay. I knew John Wall was a pro when he was 11.
Wow.
I knew he was a pro. I knew he was a pro when he was 11. He was that different. He had a gear that was just unbelievable. Like, mm-hmm. there was things that he would do that was unbelievable. We were in Biltmore Hills one day. We were in Garner Road, YMCA one day, and they were playing in a little Garner Road league. And John would get the ball and he would dribble and he would go to the right and finish with the right. So he would get the ball. He might be on the left side. He would dribble through 4 people and make a right-handed layup. So after the game, John, I see John say, "John, come here." Hey, John he had 40 something, right? And I said, "You had a good game?" He said, "Yeah, coach, I had a great game." I said, "No, you didn't." He said, "What?" I said, "No, you didn't." He said, "Why, coach?" I said, "Man, you just dribbled through. Where your left hand at? What? You're supposed to dominate out of this rec league. You're supposed to. You should have had 70. Well, you had 40. You know why you had 40? You ran out of gas because you had to fight to get over to the right side instead of making a left-handed layup, right?" So fast forward a few months later, that was during the winter. That summer, they had something at Biltmore Hills, right? I'm in the gym at Biltmore Hills, and John grabs the rebound, comes down, and finishes with the left hand. And when he finishes with the left hand, as he's coming down, I see him grabbing his hand like this, and he turns around, and he finds me in the crowd, and he goes, and he points at me.
That's good.
I was like, yeah, this cat different, dog. This cat is different. Yeah. That cat's different. So he was 1A. He was one who went through. And then David is, my brother is 15 years, two years as an all-star, 2-time NBA champion. He tied Oscar Robinson in the Atlantic 10 with Xavier with being a 3-time player of the year. He was freshman of the year, and he was 4-time, his first team all rookie, and then he was 3-time first team all conference. He has the same exact numbers as Oscar Robinson in college when you talk about conference recognition and awards. So, I mean, he's just, and they wanted him to play 2 more years. Golden State wanted to give him a 2-year contract, but he was like, I had enough, I'm good. Yeah. So, but I think he would be 1B. But I mean, again, until TJ finishes his, until Devontae finishes his, and Dayron Sharp is special. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you right now, when Dave was in the league and Dayron was 16, Dave had to play serious on Dayron at 16 because Dayron, if Dave slipped up, Dayron would mess around and beat him one-on-one. Dayron, you watch, Dayron gonna be special. He different.
Wow, man. You've definitely seen a lot of great players come through the Raleigh area. How can parents, if they have kids that are interested in your program, how can they contact you? Do you have a social media handle?
Yeah, well, so I don't think it's been put out there too much because I guess us West folk, we're very subtle, but I don't run the day-to-day. I'm not the director of the Garner Rd Basketball Club anymore. Okay. My son was the director, and now he's over in Prague. I just got off the phone with him right before we set up this Zoom, He's in Prague playing with a pro team over in Prague, so we had to make some adjustments. But David is running the day-to-day. David and a guy named Charles Graves, who's a longtime Garner Road guy. And yeah, all they got to do is they can go to on Twitter is at Garner Road Basketball Club, and you know, they can call 919-232-3642 and leave a message, or you know, there's Twitter. There's a whole bunch of Garner Road teams out there. All of our coaches are super interactive. So if they just put in Garner Road, something will come up on any platform. And you talk to any of those people that have a GRBC or Garner Road in their name, and they'll get you to who you need to get to.
Well, Dwayne, I really appreciate you coming on the show, man. I definitely have to get you back on. I don't want to let the cat out the bag. I want us to come back and talk about some more stuff that is going on with Garner Road basketball and just things that are going on out here in the world. But I just wanted to give the people just a little bit right now. So hopefully you'll come back on the show so we can share some big things that you guys have coming up.
No doubt, man. You know, the one thing that I'll say to all of the parents and the players out there that's listening, man, like, you know, Garner Road is not for everybody, just like, you know, any other, you know, organization is not for everybody. What they need to understand is they need to, you know, number one, be real with themselves in regards to their talent level and what it is that they can do. And they got to see what's best for them. They got to understand, you know, we all operate differently as organizations. We have a facility. We have a staff of people. So it's an everyday thing for us, where some people, it's a weekend thing or it's just a seasonal thing. But what I would say is I would ask that people don't allow other people to tell you about what it is that you're trying to go to. Don't let people tell you about Garner Road. You go find out about Garner Road yourself.
Exactly.
Don't let them tell you about Team Charlotte. You go find out about Team Charlotte yourself. Because there's a lot of misinformation and haters and everything else out there, and people that think they know but really don't know. Like, people don't know how we operate. And they need to just find out the information for themselves and then make a educated, fully informed decision. And that's all I'll say to that.
And you have it, man. Again, Dwayne, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. We'll definitely stay in contact so I can get you back on the show, man, so we can rap again about basketball and a lot of things going on with Garner Road. Everybody, Mr. Dwanye West.
Thank you, man. Thank
you. Sports Talk with PlayerAgent3. This is Sports Talk with PlayerAgent3. Sports Talk Agent 3. This is Sports Talk with